It says we're going live. We're live. Awesome. Skip that ad. Here we are. And it looks like...
I'm going to turn my volume on.
Oh yeah, it turned on. Alright. As far as I can tell, we are live. We're 17 seconds live. It is day 121. It is May the 1st. We are 1/3 done our big wild year.
And it's snowing.
Yeah, it's snowing, sleeting. It's 0 degrees Celsius, so we're getting kind of all the precipitation today. So that's been kind of a bummer, although I missed most of it. So I was up smelting. Smelting is smelt fishing. They're a little kind of a minnow that fish that runs the creeks to spawn at this time of year. So I was up until 3 in the morning. I collected 20 liters or a 5-gallon pail full, which is about 2,000 smelts or more. And so that's been going really well. So I got home and I went to sleep, and then I woke up and it was 10 to 3 in the afternoon, which was a huge surprise to me. I was very confused when I looked at my watch. So that was weird. And we've been cleaning smelts today. Supper was smelts and cake. And this time what I did for the cake is I took, as I was cleaning the smelts, the females, they have a, I don't know, would you say a teaspoon of eggs in each one? Half of a teaspoon, up to a teaspoon. So I set those aside. Then I put them through my blender with hot leach acorn flour. I added some sedge seed flour. That became the crust. I baked that. I put applesauce on top of that. Baked it some more. And then we added some maple sugar that we whipped with bear fat. So that was a really good cake.
And that maple sugar was actually really nice because it was all crystally.
Yeah.
Did you just make that one?
That's one that I made just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It was, yeah, more chunky. So depending on how you stir it down, you can get very, very fine granulations, or you can end up with chunkier sugar. And I like the chunky sugar because I like to sift it and get the fine stuff. But then I like to eat all the other ones like candy. Oh, you got a hair comment already too.
Oh.
Nice.
What does it say?
Your hair looks nice. Makes you look younger.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's
We've lasted longer than anyone on the Alone show. By a long shot. But we've not been alone, which is nice.
Yes.
And we pre-stocked food, and you know, we have our cars and our fancy equipment. We're not limited to 10 items, so I don't know if you can compare when it's smell, so I threw her back. Nice.
all right. So what do you want to know?
Yeah. We saw the bottom of our freezers recently.
Oh gosh.
And but then since then, you know, now we have more than 20 liters of smelts. A few people who were trapping nuisance beavers have very kindly traded me for some beavers. So we have eaten 1 beaver, and we have 2 beavers in the, most of 2 beavers in the freezer. I have a whole one in my freezer, and we butchered one down into parts for Delphine's freezer, and we ate a little bit of it recently.
Yes.
A hind quarter. And then what did you cook today?
I thought it was the hind quarter.
Another hind quarter?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah.
Grabbed one of the
But
packages out.
we use the whole beaver, like from the neck to the base of the tail. We haven't tried cooking the tail yet, but we do front quarters, hind quarters, the whole back and everything. So a beaver lasts about a week. Someone who gave me the 1 beaver, I said, oh, that should do me for about a week. And he said, what, that's it? Because they seem like a pretty big animal. But it lasts, yeah, 6 days or so.
Not 2 of us eating it. Or
Yeah,
mostly you.
mostly me for that first one, I think. Yeah. So that was nice, and it's nice that there's food in the freezer now. So I'll be leaving for Grenada in just a few days. So that'll be like my challenge will be to eat wild food while I'm in the Caribbean, which is probably the easiest place to do that. But I also wanted to make sure that there was food for Delphine, so she wasn't just eating nettle greens for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah,
she'll
that
be
was
eating smelts and
I
yellow
kind of
beans.
forgot about it, and we were at your freezer the other day, and you pulled out the last few pieces of venison, and I thought, what, is that all there is?
Yeah.
I've been so concerned about what he's going to eat while he's away.
You forgot to be concerned for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were down to ribs, right? Like
Ribs
a couple
and
packs of ribs, and then
and 2 little
chops.
packs of chops.
How did we leave chops till the very end, which is like the best meat off the back of the deer? We had 2 packages of chops, and I have a little bit of a mix of other game. So I have still a goose in the freezer. I have a hare. I have those 3 starlings.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a couple of other goodies in there down in the bottom.
And now we have tons of smelts.
And now we have tons of smelts. And in a couple of weeks, the ice will be off the lakes, and most of the fishing seasons start on the May long weekend in Canada, which is around the May 22nd or so, 21st, 20th. So we'll be able to do some summer fishing. There are a few species that are open year-round, so when I get back from Grenada, we'll also be able to tackle some of those species. And in the next couple of weeks, the suckers, and I think they're the red horse suckers, although we also have white suckers and some other species, they'll be running, and so we're hoping to catch and can lots of suckers as well.
Someone has a question.
Mhm.
BW medical stuff. How do you reconcile what you need for a year versus what you are doing in the med cabinet?
What you're doing in the med cabinet?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We've talked about it a little bit before. Like, other than your
Sinus spray?
yeah, we are not on any medication.
No.
And if you had been close to needing some blood pressure medication, you definitely don't now.
No.
Right? Like, you were maybe borderline a little bit
Yeah.
before the year started.
And that's when I was pretty sick too, right?
Yeah. But your blood pressure is way down.
Yeah.
Your cholesterol levels have gone where they need to, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I think like in the last 4 months, I've had Benadryl a couple of times, and it didn't seem to work, so I stopped bothering with it.
then you got a cold.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a cold, and then that was causing issues with my sinuses, but
They're good now again.
yeah, I can breathe again, so that went. And so I'm actually just looking into something with my doctor. We thought that there might have been one of my tea ingredients might have been triggering polyps, so we'll investigate that further. But as soon as I went off of that, within a week, my sinuses cleared up, so I wondered if it was that.
How is your energy? From Nathan King. Also, your immune system been improved noticeably? Energy? Listen, we low, except that we just keep on trucking with things. Like you work pretty much nonstop up at the
Yeah.
sugar bush.
Yeah, so yesterday, for example, that was my big day. I went to the sugar bush. I hauled by hand 300 liters of sap, filtered it, carried it to the evaporator, kept a fire going, cut more dry firewood, and then I ended up bottling 8 liters of syrup. That was a big day. Then I went home, did not have time to sleep, went out smelting, and was up smelting till 3 in the morning, so that made for a really long day. That's why I slept until almost 3 in the afternoon today. So it felt like I lost a day, but really I made up for it. You know, it was worth it.
Well, it's all the work of what you're doing, right? Carrying the buckets and walking.
Yeah.
Like the trees cover a fair distance up there.
Yeah.
Some are on hills.
Yeah, and right now we're at the point in our bush where there's not enough snow for me to run the snow dog. I don't know if I've talked about the snow dog yet on the channel, but my friend lent me, it's basically a skidoo track, and you hook up my Pelican sled behind it, and you can drive it around on the snow. So that was great. I was able to haul up a whole bunch of heavy stuff. I was able to do firewood, but now there's like patches of snow and then bare ground. In the shade, the snow is still 2 feet deep. So I also thought I'd get up there with an ATV or a four-wheeler or a quad, depending on what you want to call it, But the drifts are too big to get the quad up there, so everything's been hand bombing. Even I've been carrying back full buckets of birch sap to boil on my kitchen stove because I have no other way to get it back. I do that by hand. I saw a question about hunting seasons.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
So
Keaton Cooper.
Yeah, we're in turkey season right now, and bear season opened today.
Yes.
I haven't seen a bear track yet, but we did start baiting our stand. Delphine's got happy birthday and 100 days in gift to herself was a brand new Tika T3 Hunter with a wood stock, 308 caliber, nice Vortex scope. So we took it up to the bear stand, and she obliterated some soup cans with it, and so she's like all gung-ho. She's going to be hunting bears while I'm away in Grenada hunting coconuts.
Seems pretty good. And then when you get back, we'll have coconut coated bear.
Or bear coated coconut.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to bring some things back from Grenada. So I'm limited to what I can bring into the country. So I've been checking with customs, and I'm hoping that I can bring back a good quantity of dried coconut and of sea almonds, which are not the European almond tree, but something different that tastes or looks a bit like almonds, but they taste a little bit different. So I'm going to try and dry up a lot of those and bring those back as well.
And salt. Do you find the lack of veggies during the winter months hurts your physical health at White Oak Outdoors? No, it doesn't. We all of our blood work is good.
Yeah.
We feel good.
Yeah.
But mentally, I know I've been missing veggies. We had lots of greens initially. We had fiddleheads and milkweed pods and nettle and the amaranth.
Yeah.
Dandelion buds. Daisy buds.
We probably ended up doing about 2 weeks
Milkweed
without
buds.
greens, really, though.
Yeah.
Lately.
But made up for it with the teas.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of our dry teas, dried leeks.
Yeah.
We had leek greens also.
Yeah.
Till the last couple.
Yeah, and
It
so
was just
now
very
the snow and patches of bare ground. So I just have been eating a few basswood buds. I really like those when I'm in the sugar bush and I can pick some low-hanging branches. And I got into some dandelion crowns. So before they send up all their leaves in size, they have a little rosette of leaves, and you can cut them off below the ground level and get all the leafy part above the root. And fried in bear fat, I really, really like
so
those.
Good. And we did have a great big dandelion green salad.
Yeah.
Should I tell that story?
Sure. Yeah.
So
people love to hear those kinds of things.
I was super excited to have a fresh salad. It was so good. I made dressing out of bear fat and some of our red wine vinegar, some salt, a little bit of goldenrod, and something else that I don't remember right now. And it was delicious. It was a huge mixing bowl.
Yeah.
And so I had half it, and then I was going in for a night shift, and I took the rest with me. I got to work, I did my med run, sat down, and just gobbled the rest up. I couldn't wait to finish it. And I think my body probably was really missing bitter greens and leafy greens, because within a very short period of time, I was running to the toilet.
Yeah.
It really did a number. Well, a number 2, I guess. Really did a number on my guts. But then I felt really good. And the next day, I felt my energy was a little bit better the next day from having the dandelion. It was good. So that's my story. Any poop questions answered?
Yeah. I'm going to maybe just post into the comments some of my recent blood test results. So I had some high and low results, but when you look at them compared to the normal range, like they're only marginally low or marginally high, like they're right borderline. So I don't really consider them a significant result. But my B12, for example, is at 697 picomoles per liter. So that's a fair bit higher than the normal range. And I'll post my some of my cholesterol here in a second as well. But I will mention I had no ketones in my urine, and as far as we know from using our strips that we are not in ketosis, probably because we eat so much maple syrup. Even when we're not eating greens, we're still getting lots of carbohydrates. So
on big days, so I had a big day before I went in for blood work because I was up all day, and then I did a night shift, and I wasn't surprised that my urine came back with positive for ketones because you just do too much on too little, right? Your muscles are doing what they do. So Keith Reynolds, have all your cravings gone, or is there still regular food you crave or miss? So I think everyone can relate to having cravings, like no matter what diet you're eating. And those things for me come up like when I would feel like I want hummus or whatever, or a cheesecake, or they sort of still happen but pass really quickly. But I am pretty sure that when we have our party on New Year's Eve this year, that I'm going to go straight for the veggie tray.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
All
I
about
think
the veggies, eh?
carrots, broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, I can have a bag of chips, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god, no.
I just keep craving chips. Although it's probably not necessarily for the salt, so I'll post my sodium results. 140 millimoles per liter. Like all of our electrolytes are exactly in the normal range, so lots of people worry about our salt, and they haven't fluctuated. They've stayed steady over the last 120 days, and so sodium is fine. We don't need, and we only have that very small amount of sea salt, of which we've only used half.
Yeah, so in maybe 3/4 of a cup since the year started.
Yeah, just like a pinch into like a soup or on top of some greens or something. And so it's nice for flavor, but it does not seem to be a necessity for keeping our sodium levels up or our other electrolyte levels.
And we had concerns about it too because, it is essential. And I had read that you can get sodium out of bone broth, and clearly we have been, because you have that every day in your soups, and I've had it fairly regularly also. Need sugars? No. We have maple syrup. Oh, I should have had the bottles out. You could see how much.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, you posted it to Big Wild Deer page or Instagram?
I don't remember. It might have just been my cover photo on my Facebook, but I can post a picture thereafter.
Here's my HDL cholesterol at 2.50 and LDL at 3.53. And a lot of people measure the ratio cholesterol over HDL, which mine is at 2.5.
My glasses. When we were out smelt fishing the other night, I don't like wearing them at night because it gives a weird glare, and they were in my pocket. Was not a problem. I was on the bank just kind of scooping a little bit because my rubber boots had a leak in. So when people started to leave, I went to a different spot, and oh my god, there were so many. So I decided it was worth a cold foot. So I went in, and there was a nice log, and I was leaning over to scoop and forgot my glasses were in my pocket. So
arm.
They're taped and going sideways, and I don't like it. Someone's curious about what that trigger was for your sinuses.
Oh, so I mean, we're only guessing right now, but my doctor thought it might be the ASA that's in pine species. So I had been using lots of pine needles in my tea about the same time that my sinuses took a dive for the worse.
But we also had our wine.
And that was the other thing that I thought I might have had a trigger to, was we had made choke cherry wine, no sugar added, just straight up choke cherries. And we drank a bunch of that, which really was juice, but in a wine glass because it's nice to go with a meal. And that was about the time that my sinuses took a dive for the worst too, and my skin got really dry around that same time as well. A question about Grenada alone or with a community member. So I'm going down with a school group as a supervisor, and I'm going to do some of my own collecting, but I'm limited in time, and so I do have some locals that I know there who might be able to help me out, or at least point me towards some food sources, and I'll probably end up going fishing once or twice because I'd love to, but I'll be getting fresh fish from the market, which all comes from right off the beaches there.
Someone saying, Katie and Dan, I bet something as simple as popcorn is a craving for you right now.
Yeah, did you pop popcorn in here?
No.
Because it smelled like popcorn when I came in.
Oh, that's weird. No, but popcorn's been on my mind. I make popcorn for the kids, but I'm going to pop a whole bunch because someone told me that it would be good to put it up at the bear stand.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a big garbage bag of popped corn
with
covered in bacon grease and tempt them out. BLT, yeah, that was going to be my first or toasted tomato sandwich.
Yeah.
What is she drinking? Can't tell you. I just made a tea. It's elderberries, cranberries, and chamomile and rose petals, and maple syrup.
Yeah, it's really good. And yes, Dan, they are rainbow smelts because we're inland. We don't catch the ocean smelts, so they're smallish. They're probably 3 inches, although Delphine caught a winner the other day, which was 8 5/8 of an inch long. So we just fried that one up with the rest of them. And our smelt preparation is just to get hot bear fat or raccoon fat, and then just drop them in and stand back because they're so moist they spit all over the place. You have to have a cover. And just fry them crispy and eat them like that, and they're
so good.
We just ate,
I don't know, 80?
Almost 100 maybe for supper between the two of us.
So good.
And we really like them.
Someone's feeling bad eating chips as they watch.
Oh, no problem. That's what we used to watch alone and eat like all kinds of crazy food and be like, those guys are losing. They're no good at this. This year the joke is we're going to watch the new season of Alone and be like, hey, that guy's eating what we're eating. We'll be eating a dandelion salad or something, and our friends will be eating chocolate cake and drinking beers.
Think you'll make it the whole year? Not a doubt.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, like unless temptation or health or something, but like as far as food supplies go and time to collect, I think we're pretty good for the rest of the year now. Although, like as the seasons change, there's something new every couple of weeks, and so there'll be lots of new adventures. Someone asked if my weight has stabilized. Your weight stabilized? Way back.
Way back. After about 6 weeks, I stopped losing weight. And then it's spring. And I don't know if anyone else has this, but I generally lose a few pounds when spring rolls around, just because you're doing a little bit more. And so I did. So that was kind of actually a little bit disappointing because I dropped about 4.5 pounds, but...
And my weight I thought it was stabilizing, but my weight loss has slowed, but it hasn't stopped. But I've also been working super hard in the sugar bush. And my weight is now at 161 pounds. I started at 194 pounds, and I've lost about a pound a week for the last 4 weeks, I would say.
Yeah, because it's a kilometer trek up to the Sappy Shack.
Dragging a sled full of stuff.
Yeah.
And then walking back and forth to buckets while we're there. Chopping wood, chainsawing.
Yeah.
So those are big days. I usually burn, if I spend a whole day in the sugar bush, I'm over 4,000 calories. So that's kind of like what you burn if you hike all day with a hiking backpack.
Someone wants to donate your trip. Not needed.
Oh yeah, no, that trip's covered through work. I could not in good conscience have a donation, but I'm not eligible for Patreon yet, but at some point I'll set up a Patreon account because we the things we want to spend money on are to do some nutritional analysis of wild foods. We'd love to make that information available to people and also know for ourselves what's in what we're eating, so we can say, oh, where are we getting all of our sodium? Where are we getting our calories? Where are we getting our fats? So that's something that we would be interested to have donations to cover.
Have you had any more roadkill luck? Wes asked. No.
Yes.
Yes?
I got a grouse.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You know what a spatchcock chicken is, where you split the chicken open and flatten it? That's kind of like what the grouse was. It was borderline where I would not have eaten it, but then I did, because it wasn't smelly. It just was hard hit. Then I found another one 2 days later, and I passed that one up because it was like a road pancake.
And my sister was driving.
Oh yeah.
I got a phone call in the middle of the day, and she saw a little fawn on the side of the road and asked if I wanted it. She was on a busy highway. She said, oh, I can't go out yet. There's big trucks coming. So she waited a couple of minutes, got out, and she said, nope, It's all broke open. It was so cute.
Adam Craig Outdoors. Yep, it's a tough walk to the shack. So Adam came up to visit me at the shack, and I sent him a message to say, you need snowshoes or your snow machine. But because I'm up in the bush and there's a really poor signal there, it didn't go through. And then a little while later, I heard crunch, 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 and then Adam had come all the way up. No snowshoes, no snow machine. What a trooper.
His shins must have been tore right up.
Yeah.
Are you going to try and get starlings as well? Yes, probably.
Yeah, starlings and
And
blackbirds.
we picked, sorry, I got excited because when we list those birds that we could, like pigeons are one of them. And so we saw, there's tons around where I live, and we saw them flying around, getting friendly with each other. And at the back of my place, there's a little over shed, and Jer spotted a couple going in with some sticks, so we knew they were making a nest, and we picked 4 eggs out of it, 2 which we couldn't use as eggs. And then we went back a couple weeks later and they had laid again. So we had eggs in our cake the other night while we were watching Game of Thrones.
Our first bird eggs of the year. I have to add that to my list now. And there was a question about a maple syrup video. Yes, I have a whole bunch of videos shot, and I have not had spare time to edit or post videos since my first maple syrup video, which was me getting a black eye, just trying to set up the spot. So I still have footage of putting together the Dominion and Grimm evaporator, running it, collecting sap. I have a fishing video, so Chris already posted his, but I didn't post my side of it yet. I think he called it The Man Who Needs 400 Pounds of Fish this year, or something like that. And a few other videos besides. So I have a video backlog, and I need to get caught up, which will happen soonish.
Yes, it's just really hard because we have to do things that are not videos, but that will make really good videos.
Well, even when I was smelt fishing, I was like, oh, I should really catch some video of this, but I didn't have my camera with me. I'm wet, I'm covered in smelt, it's dark. I have stuff to review. I have a flashlight that I need to review, and I haven't had time to do that review. I have a folding takedown axe to review. I haven't caught up on that. I owe some videos for the syrup evaporator. I really wanted to show some of that. I have footage, but I haven't posted it yet, so it's really about getting caught up this spring.
Real Living, you folks are an inspiration. I am impressed with how much weight Jer has lost. Looks a lot healthier.
Yeah, I've lost, so I'm down from a size 36 pant to a 32.
Well, the last pair we bought are 32, but there's probably still room in there.
Yeah.
You've lost 43? No, 40.
Well, yeah, so I started the year at 194 pounds, so I've lost 34 pounds, about 33. But in November, I was 205 pounds, and I set out to lose some weight before we started the Big Wild Year because I didn't want to go in heavy. That felt like cheating. and I knew it was heavier than I normally would be, so I had lost weight previous to that. So in the last 6 months, I've lost over 40 pounds.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Which is a lot. Actually, I'm getting warm. I didn't even have time to get dressed up for this big wild year. I'm wearing like my wool undershirt from whatever, my Duke.
Adam's loving on our evaporator. It really is gorgeous. That Dominion and Grimm evaporator.
Yeah, it's really nice. So now this will be another project this year. It's under a tarp right now, but we're gonna build a cabin, a proper sugar bush cabin / bunkie / woodshed to protect it from the elements and the animals, and have a better setup. Next year I'll be putting out more maple syrup videos. We'll do a lot more up there, and we'll have more time. Yeah, the European starlings are invasive and plentiful. Just they're often more plentiful in town where you can't shoot at them, but we'll...
You've been having good luck with your air rifle, using that.
Yeah. Yeah, so at my parents' place, grackles come through every once in a while, and well, I've probably taken a dozen red squirrels out from around the garage. That's my my air rifle that I showed in the small cabin video, the Hdl Cholesterol, which is my new favorite Foragers firearm. Works really nice. It pumps up with like a bicycle pump, but it's a special pump. It goes to 200 bar, and then I can do about 15 shots off of that. It's a 25 caliber. The pellets are 32 grains, doing about 900 feet per second. So they are almost in foot-pound energy. I think they're getting pretty close to a 22. So I'll probably use it on everything through like hare and grouse, raccoons, and so on. So it's a good one. Protein poisoning, Malcolm. Protein poisoning is when you get too much protein and not enough fat with it, and so your body, what does your body do? It steals something from your own body to digest all the protein. So if you were, for example, to only eat super lean meat like hare meat, you could die of it, even though you're getting your calories for the day. It strips something out of your body in the metabolic process, and you get poisoned.
Someone's asking if we ship maple syrup, because I'd like some with my raccoon. Oh well, next year, maybe.
Yeah.
Any morels around? Not yet, but they should be soon.
We still have snow on the ground, but
I'd have to look in my calendar. I think it was the second week of May the last time we found some. But I'm going down home maybe in the next week to look after leeks this weekend.
May is the month for morels in Michigan. We're kind of at the same latitude as parts of Michigan, so hopefully. Problem with morels, they're so good, but I never find them, and so it's hard to set aside a whole day to hunt for morels when in the same amount of time I could pick a full basket of greens or go fishing or something like that. So
but I will take a day to go look for morels because they're so good. Some for this year would be nice. What do you need to go?
Oh, they're talking about instantly burgered, the 25 caliber versus a red squirrel, but I've made all head and neck shots on them. I only had one where I hit it through the body. Same with the grackles. They were two of them were head shots. One was a breast shot, but still, all the meat was fine, really.
Acadian Dan, where's Dan?
Sorry. The nice thing about those Hdl Cholesterol is like they just have a little drop-in barrel, and so you still have your same rifle, but I forget how much they cost. You could just buy a 22 caliber barrel or even a 177 caliber barrel. Drop that in, and with just simple tools, it's really easy to do. And then I could just be shooting 177 or 22 caliber out of it. Probably they'll travel a bit faster because they're lighter and smaller. But I have that option. But I opted for the 25 because I thought it'd be better for hunting hares and excuse me, raccoons and things.
Someone's asking me where down home is, and it's just a little south of here. It's Manitoulin Island. That's where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Middle of Lake Huron, largest freshwater island in the world.
Yeah.
Largest lake on an island, and a lake on an island.
Yeah.
Or is that how it goes?
Something like that.
Treasure Island, largest island, and a lake on an island in a lake. That's
Highest,
what it is.
highest deer population in Ontario, maybe. I don't know if you can send wild meat across the border, Jake. Question about sending buffalo meat up. Would we consider adding that, or is that cheating? And what we're trying to do right now is really to trade people stuff. I don't know if we have a lot of extra trade stuff right now, but so we've kind of softened up on our no donations policy.
Except that we're still finding things to trade for it.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're a little more open to trades, only because we saw the bottom of the freezer.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not begging for food yet.
No.
Trust me, you'll be the first to know. Oh, you were there on the island. Yeah, you should go back. It's still beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we go there a few times a year. But for the barrel change on the Edgun Leshy, you'd have to look it up. I think it might be just an Allen key, or I forget. But I watched a video about a guy doing it, and it was pretty quick. I think he changed the barrel out in less than a minute. So
That's cool.
yeah. And I think too, because there's lighter pellets, maybe you get more shots per pump, for example, or per charge on the canister. So all right.
Did you want some of that beaver meat? Or are you still full from dinner?
No, I'd have a snack. Sure.
I thought you might.
What do we need for Grenada? BW, nothing. Don't need anything. I'm just gonna go down, bring a couple of harvesting tools with me. I might buy a machete while I'm there. They call them a cutlass. And just for splitting coconuts and things. But I have one of those takedown axes from Ayuno. They sent me one to try out, so I might bring that because it'll be good. It's got the hammer back on it, so I can use it for splitting open sea almonds, but also probably for splitting coconuts. And I don't know, like, I don't really come back. I'm just gonna try and pack up as much food as I can.
Well, you should tell them about what happened to your jerky.
Yeah, I made some. So the other thing is, because I got to travel 2 days to get there and 2 days to come back, basically. So I wanted to prep some food to bring down to cover me, like, on the airplane and stuff, because I obviously won't be eating any airplane food or airport food. So I made a nice batch. I had a venison round roast, and I sliced it all up. I marinated it with a bit of sea salt and maple syrup, and I did jerky. Like, oh, this is perfect. I had a whole big bag of it. Then I felt a little bit snackish, so I grabbed a piece of that, because you got to try it before you bring it anyway, right? It was really good. And then I had a day where I missed my lunch and I had to get somewhere in a hurry, so I had a few more pieces. And anyway, I didn't eat pretty much the whole bag of it. So I made more yesterday. I had my last venison roast, sirloin roast, and I sliced that up, and it's in the dehydrator right now, and so that'll be ready to go with me. So I'm going to bring venison jerky, maple sugar, and bear fat, just as 3 staples. But when I'm down there, I'm planning to mostly eat pandanus nuts, sea almonds, coconuts, mangoes, bananas, breadfruit, cactus, agave, and then ocean fish. Maybe someone will be able to get me an iguana.
You had a little bit the last time you were there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was good. It was like a mix between a chicken and a rabbit. No, but it's more like frog, I guess. If you've had frog legs, it's kind of that. It's very similar. How do you make salt? I boil it. I just put it in a big pot and then just boil it down until it's soft, and then when it's a paste, because I don't want it to just all stick inside as dry salt. When it's a paste, then I spread it out on a cookie sheet and just leave it in the sun to dry off. I might try and set up a few trays and just try and evaporate off the trays there because it's hot all the time. Sometimes the humidity is really high and sometimes it's low, but I think I'll make most of it by boiling. The air rifle is really quiet, Malcolm. Way more quiet than a 22. Have you been there when I've shot it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the one that I have has a big, I think they're calling it a compensator, but there's a big hollow barrel extension on the front, which also makes it legal for Canadian overall length rules. But I think it traps a lot of air too as the bullet's coming out, the pellet, and so it's very quiet, surprisingly quiet. It is a suitable replacement for a normal rifle. You can buy them all the way up to 50 caliber and you can hunt deer and wild hogs with them, but the bigger they are, the more pumping you have to do to get enough air to shoot however many pellets it's good to shoot. And one of the things, so this is interesting, you never have to clean them because there's no gunpowder, there's no residue in the barrel. And the gentleman that sold that one to me, he said he's got some that he's sure he's put 10,000 pellets through and never had to clean them. They never foul. So the nice thing about that too is if you're shooting over a period of time, you don't get drift on your bullets really, because your barrel, nothing changes inside the barrel from one shot to the next. And he said if he goes home and he's plinking in his backyard and all of his bullet holes aren't touching on the paper, that's his fault and not the rifle's fault. So that's kind of interesting, never having to clean them.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would be true too of the 50 caliber one. So the Dragon Claw, for example, you can shoot 50 caliber pellets out of it, or you can buy arrows. You can stuff an arrow in there and shoot arrows out of it. Now, in some states or provinces, shooting an arrow out of a gun might be a huge gray zone as far as regulations go. So you would have to check in your area to see if you can actually do that. But shooting the pellets out is not an issue. Kind of like muzzleloader hunting in some ways. There is a bit of lead fouling sometimes, and you should clean up the barrel. Okay. Cool.
Are you planning on harvesting maple tree seeds for flour? We have some.
Yeah, did we eat some of them?
Yeah, I put them in something a while ago, but I hadn't finished cleaning them. And we'll collect them again. And flowers.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of dory maple.
And you were going to ferment the leaves,
maple.
right?
Mm-hmm. We're going to try a few things with all of the maple.
Mm-hmm.
Maple and oak, right? They're like powerhouse food.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is.
Might as well. This is beaver. Don't want the juices to drip off the plate. Beaver hind quarter, if you're interested. So there's quite a bit of meat on there.
Mm-hmm.
Beavers are really muscly, and what's interesting is some of their bones, like if you've picked up chicken bones or deer bones, they're just like a bone, right? Like they're round and tubular. A lot of the beaver bones have ridges along them.
There's one right there.
Yeah. So instead of it being just long and round, they've got these interesting ridges, I guess, which is just for the muscle attachment. They're very powerful animals. So that's cool. How did the acorns turn out? Good. It takes a long time to process them, but we've been eating them almost daily, probably. And I was surprised. I sort of paid a little bit more attention when I make a cake, like I've been posting pictures of on the Big Wild Deer page or Facebook or wherever. It's only about a cup of acorn flowers, maybe a little bit more than a cup, makes all that cake.
Mm-hmm.
So they go a long ways.
Oh, and what else happened this birthdays?
Yeah.
birthday cake.
Oh yeah.
So that was fun to make each other a birthday meal. And for Jared's birthday, this year he turned 40, so I wanted him to have a nice party with close friends and family. So I booked a restaurant, and luckily I know the owner, so she let us take in our food. It's a really nice right on the water, so it's got a great view, and we saw lots of ducks flying by and a heron, and it was there were 13 of us eating, and so I cooked our little roadkill cub that we got.
That was really tasty.
Yeah, and then an adult bear. The cub meat was a different color, a different taste. And it made quite a large quantity of gelatin because there's so much cartilage inside of it. Like, it wasn't all
young bones.
Solid bones, so that was kind of neat too.
Dan, I did not fill up any more Gatorade bottles with sap yet, but as we get to the end of the syrup season, and there's not enough to do a boil on the evaporator, I think I will freeze some just as sap.
Do you have a stash of wintergreen for teas? A small amount. There's a lot of it around, and it'll be out, like it's always there, right? So we could get some more even now. I picked some last spring. Someone asked if we thought that spring was a couple weeks behind this year, but it really isn't. We keep getting snow, which makes it a little difficult to go out and pick things, but the dates are the same for me as last year. Picking the garlic mustard and the dandelion greens was exactly the same time as last year.
I think the maple run was a little bit later.
The maple run was, yes.
But the smelts are maybe a few days later, but they're kind of pretty close.
Same.
Yeah.
I know it's weird because it feels like the winter would never end, but everything is happening pretty much on time.
Earthworms, harvesting earthworms. So I saw a recipe in an old Harrowsmith magazine for earthworm cake, and earthworms do have a lot of protein and nutrition. I think you have to maybe purge them first because they're probably kind of gritty inside, but I haven't eaten earthworms. I think I can get better food easier than the work of digging a whole pile of earthworms. Death Dealer 40 caliber. I was talking about my weight earlier, and it has not leveled out yet, so I've continued to lose a pound a week. Hey, Logan's Life, welcome.
He said, dang it, missed the beginning. So did we.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah. For Delphine's birthday, I really wanted to do a recipe from Yule Gibbons' book, Stalking the Wild Asparagus, which is a really fantastic wild food resource. He's an author from the 70s. If you live in a coastal area too, like a southern coastal area, he also has a really fantastic book called the Beachcombers Handbook, which I really enjoyed, but I got it through Interlibrary Loan. It's hard to find a copy. They're like $130 because they're in print and they're old. But in his Stalking the Wild Asparagus, he has a recipe for
artichokes.
Yeah.
Jerusalem
artichoke chiffon pie. And so I started in on that, but you need eggs. And it had some fish eggs, but when I thawed them out, they smelled vomitous. They were really gross. So I kind of just winged it. So I made an acorn flour crust, and I used some gelatin that I had made from simmering bones. I cooked some berries and some fat and the gelatin all together in a pot, and then I put it in the fridge to cool. And then once it had gelled and set, I spooned it out cold into that acorn crust, and I put blackberries on top and some chopped walnuts on top
with the
maple sugar on top.
Yeah.
Or did I whip the maple sugar with fat?
You whipped it with some fat.
Whipped it with bear fat.
And it was so good. I ate it and said,
you want to have that cake always?
For every birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, it was good. And then, sorry, and the other ingredient is the Jerusalem artichoke. So you cook a cup of them, and then you kind of whip them or mash them, and they get mixed into the filling as well. So they're kind of the bulk of the filling, and then you've got the gelatin and the berry sauce in there as well. And speaking of Jerusalem artichokes,
Yeah.
our snow is down low enough now that we'll be able to dig into our artichoke patch before they start to sprout, and we're hoping to catch a bucket of them maybe or something and dry them up, because someone asked earlier what our favorite wild food was, and I think Jerusalem artichokes have been one of my surprisingly favorite wild foods.
Yes, I would definitely have them. Yeah, daily.
Yeah, and
Like,
raccoon.
they're so good.
Was a bit surprised at how good and versatile the raccoon was, especially
Yes.
raccoon fat.
Me too. I like the fat less, but the raccoon meat itself was amazing. The
But
raccoon
those
fat
smelts-
is very versatile.
It's a bit smelly.
I find it cooks at a higher, like you can use it at a higher heat than the bear fat, but it does have an odor that kind of lingers in the air when you cook with it. But if you have a
frying the smelts
candle or
was good.
something going, it's kind of negligible after. How many liters of maple syrup do we think we'll finish with?
We had 23 the other day, and I made another 8.
We were hoping for 50, so I think
And
we're
then you
going to
made
be
another
close.
3.5. 3 liters in the big jug.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
So that's 34 liters, and then there's still more sap to boil, and maybe a little bit more to collect, and then the weather's going to change, and we'll be done in the next 2 days.
Two or 3 days, yeah. So
we
we'll
might be close to 50.
40 something.
Yeah. We'll have to use it a little bit less frequently than we have been using it,
Or
so that it lasts us all the way through.
we'll get t-shirts that say "We'll work for syrup."
Fiddlehead soon. I was keeping an eye on them when we were smelting, because there was a patch of them there.
Hello, Phoenix, Arizona. Watching you on my lunch break. 100 degrees. Wow. Jeremy is a good butcher. Yes, he is.
I try.
You're pretty good at lots of stuff, eh, babe?
Butchering food and eating food.
Yeah, that's all.
Maple smoked trout is definitely on the menu this spring and summer and fall.
Yeah. And we're going to do a lot of canning. We're hoping in the next few weeks. Yes. Oh, we talked about the suckers already, but yeah. By the way, you both look so thin and healthy. We both feel thin and healthy.
Yeah. I'm really interested, actually, for in a few weeks from now, we'll be doing our first set of physiological measurements since we started the Big Wild Year. So that includes our grip strength test, our leg press, our resting metabolic rate, our VO2 max, waist circumference, seated
fat
box
aging.
stretch, percent body fat. Did I cover them all?
I think so.
Yeah. So I'm interested because I have lost so much weight, and I was wondering if I'd also lost some muscle mass, but I have been still carrying,
think
I can
so.
still carry 2 sap buckets around. They're 44 pounds each, haul them through the bush on uneven snow, and then, lift them up past my
On
waist.
snowshoes.
On snowshoes and dump them into buckets and things. So I feel like I must still have a lot of strength, but I'll be curious to see where we are at the start of June relative to where we were in January. Well, their brains are like our brains.
Yep. That's funny.
How often do we get the chance to have bear? Pretty much every day, except now we're out. Yeah, but we use bear fat every day. So we might have another bear within the next week or two. Delphine will be out with her fancy new rifle.
Do you use bear fat to can the sucker fish? We don't know, because we've never done them. I think it's just the fish.
Yeah, I think you don't add fat when you're
No.
canning those guys. Lots of people will add a bit of tomato paste for color, And then it looks like pink salmon, and apparently you can fool some people because they taste similar. I think we're just going to can them straight up. Now, because we're collecting food to get us through this year, but also for next year, we might use, we might do some pickling, and we might put some tomato paste in some of them, and then have them for next year,
Or
which will
hot
be
sauce.
the big,
Can
less
we put
wild
hot
year.
sauce?
Yeah,
I think we should
could
do that.
put hot sauce.
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
of your friends, your, what is
Yeah.
it called?
Peppers North?
Peppers North.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those are some good sauces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could do that. For sure. Yeah. Next year, we're not really sure what we'll do. We're kind of focused on getting through this year, but next year we'll obviously be eating some different foods. So
Big wild year plus.
we're starting a garden and
Yeah.
getting
Get
some chickens and things.
And hopefully a little oinker
Not this year, but
next year.
next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep a couple of pigs. I have done some videos on pig butchering and things. Do really like them.
Katie and Dan come down for the trout run. Where?
Yeah, where are you at again, Dan? I know I was just talking to someone who was catching rainbow trout on Manitoulin Island, and I figure they're going to be running right around now, too, in like southern Ontario, in all the tributaries off the Great Lakes, right?
Someone's asking if we would accept donations for a caffeinated plant, but we're not missing the caffeine.
No, I think
And
I'm
and
kind of
because-
missing the coffee, but not the caffeine.
yeah, and you're not sure what it does to your.
My
That's
sinuses.
one of those things you want to introduce later, like as a trial
Yeah.
when you're one food at a time thing.
Yeah, and I'm not missing caffeine at all.
No.
It's not like I wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, I wish I was having a coffee." Just be like, "Oh man, I'm excited to eat smelts today."
Yeah. Coerces. Okay.
Oh yeah, we
Actually,
are
we're-
also putting in for the big game draws for moose and elk. Elk in Ontario is a very limited season, so I think we have a 20% chance of drawing an elk tag for a cow. But we're making a plan about it.
Real living. Good night. Someone's off to bed.
Oh yeah.
Pickled
What?
sausage.
10 o'clock already? Well, we're gonna wrap it up soon too, probably, because
Oh, yes.
we usually hold it to about an hour. Oh, and the Kawarthas. We are headed down that way on this weekend,
Just for the day trip.
just for a day trip.
Driving you to the airport is what's happening.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that I'd like to do, but we're so focused on the sugar bush and the smelts right now, and then it's like we'll be focused on the
Suckers and fiddleheads and leeks.
Yeah.
Leeks is the next thing.
Yeah.
I've got to go and pick them.
yeah.
Sunday, well, I'm picking them on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to get very, very busy. So many people keep saying, or maybe it's the same person,
About
just
bees?
swarm of bees.
Yeah.
Swarm of bees.
I've never seen a swarm of bees in my life.
I have.
Have you? Cool. We'll probably end up getting bees next year. Or
Yes. Why so little videos these weeks? Because he's been working so hard
yeah,
at the sugar bush, and there just has been no
I've
time
had zero time to edit.
between parenting and teaching, and
Yeah,
the same for me, working and
Yeah.
kids, and
yeah, and it's like if I have
we
a
take
couple
the
hours
kids
in
up
the
with
evening,
us.
then I sleep because I'm going back out from like 10 o'clock till 2 in the morning to check on smelts. So, like I honestly I haven't even hardly been keeping track of my Facebook. I'm trying to keep up to my YouTube comments, and I'll get there.
What food gives you the most energy? You can answer another question. Probably the fat and sugar and everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
Like-
just drinking maple syrup straight out of the... I've drank so much maple syrup and maple sap because I'll go up to the sugar bush and then I don't even have time to cook food while I'm up there sometimes, so I'll just drink sap out of the buckets to keep hydrated, and then I'll drink syrup out of the pans just for energy boost. But meat has been the base of almost all of our meals. Like it's our
Yeah, it fills the
Big
plate up.
staple. Yeah.
Like, we've already eaten.
Yeah, we already ate today,
And,
but we're eating again.
This is a big chunk of meat
Yeah.
for dessert.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I teach in an environmental program, so I teach topics like biology and ecology, toxicology, environmental career preparedness, things like that. Yeah, I have one kid who wants to edit my videos for me. Could get him to manage my social media account. Be my secretary. Delphine's already like the main person on the Big Wild Deer Facebook page. You do so much work there.
Mm-hmm.
That goes really well. Well, I think because we're an hour in, we are probably going to wrap it up.
Okay.
And we'll do another update in June. And what we might try and do is maybe we'll wait till partway through June and we'll have our physiological measurements to report on.
Did he say June though? Because originally he was saying June, at the end of June.
End of June.
July will be the report.
Oh, maybe, okay. So we'll do a June update. I'll be able to talk about Grenada. I am going to try and get some of my video backlog out. So I have a lot of videos to edit. And we'll be doing more updates. So every month there's an update. I'll probably be back on track to be doing a video about every week. I will maybe try and do some more vlog style videos, less of a catch and cook format, but we'll see how that works. And yes, I will try and do a wilderness living challenge this year. I'll probably, although the whole year is a wilderness living challenge, I will probably meet up with the Wooded Beardsmen to do a week somewhere. And we'll have some other good side adventures too, especially if we draw elk tags or moose tags.
Yeah.
We're going to do a northern Quebec fishing trip. We have a trip down into the United States for the Great Lakes Foragers Gathering, which was a really cool group that we heard about. So we're going down there to meet some foragers, including Samuel Thayer, who's the author of my favorite foraging books, my favorite living author.
Yeah.
I really like Ewell Gibbons, but I'm really excited to meet up with Sam Thayer as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting.
Mm-hmm. So thanks for all your support. It's really great to see you guys on here every month and get your comments on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and elsewhere. So we do really appreciate that. And we'll continue the adventure.
Yeah. Before we go,
Yeah.
should we mention about the New Year's party?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
We can throw that out there.
So for anyone that's close enough to North Bay, Ontario, and because we're so sure of our success for this year,
We're planning in advance.
we're planning in advance a big New Year's Eve, end of Big Wild Year celebration. And so all of the people who have questions about what we're going to eat when the year starts, 2020, you could come and watch. We're going to, I don't think we have a price set, but we'll have tickets and we're going to try to have it for 100 or so people.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't finalized any details except that we know where we're going to book it.
Yeah.
And we'll give you details, but keep in mind if anyone's interested to come and have a great celebration with us and to, just high five the year going out with a big success.
Yeah.
Bang. Yeah.
Then you can see live what we decide to eat after our year's
Yeah,
up.
that's the big.
What's it going to be?
It'll be a sip
Tomato.
of champagne and then we'll fall over.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we will do a video on jarring some fish. Sure. Yeah, and hello from Caledon.
Sending some recipes that they made based on stuff that we've done. That's cool.
Oh, great. Okay.
Chris Smith, yeah.
Wild hog ribs. That sounds good.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
See you next month.
Yep.